Picture this. You sit down at a glittering slot machine on the Las Vegas Strip, feed in a $100 bill, and 90 minutes later, you are staring at a zero balance wondering what just happened. You did not lose that money because you were unlucky. You lost it because that machine was engineered, tested, and strategically placed on that floor to take every single dollar you brought with you. 20 specific machines are doing this more aggressively than anything else in the casino right now. And tonight, a former Vegas floor manager is going to name every one of them. Hi, my name is Michael, and this is Old Vegas Legends. Why slot machines are designed to destroy you. Let me a number that should make your jaw drop. According to the Nevada Gaming Control Board's 2024 annual report, the Las Vegas Strip held 8.23% of all money wagered through slot machines that year. Downtown Las Vegas held 8.47%. Penny slots, the machines your grandmother loves, and the ones casinos carpet their floors with, held nearly 10% statewide. Some downtown properties squeezed 11 cents of every dollar run through penny slots. Now, I want you to think about what that actually means in practice. If you sit down with $200 and play penny slots for 3 hours, you are not really betting pennies. Most of these machines require you to bet 20, 40, sometimes 60 lines at once just to qualify for the bonus features advertised right there on the screen. You are functionally wagering $2 to $3 per spin. At 400 spins per hour, that is somewhere between $800 and $1,200 cycling through the machine every 60 minutes. The casino keeps 8 to 11% of that. You do the math. Here's the part they really do not want you to understand. The hold percentage is not a flat tax taken from your original deposit. It compounds across every spin, so that $200 bill you fed in does not get 8% skimmed once. Every time the money cycles back through the machine on a winning spin, it gets exposed to the hold again, and again, and again. Mathematically, given enough time, the machine takes everything. That is not bad luck. That is physics. And that was before casinos started quietly tightening the screws even further. Between 2023 and 2024, average hold percentages ticked upward across nearly every denomination and every major Las Vegas market. Small increases. The kind of increases that show up in a quarterly earnings report and not on the machine's face. The kind of increases that a casual player would never notice, but a former floor manager absolutely notices, because I have seen the orders come down. The dirty secret casino, managers know and never tell you. Here is something that took me about 6 months on the job to fully understand. The casino floor is not random. Nothing about it is random. The placement of every single machine is a decision made by people who have access to granular data about how much money every square foot of that floor generates per hour. They know which machines pull players in from the aisle. They know which machines keep players seated longest. They know which machines create the most visible celebration moments. Those lights and sounds that make nearby players think, that could be me next time. Loose machines, the ones that pay out more frequently, are placed near the entrances, near the buffet lines, near the sports books. Why? Because a win near the entrance makes people walking past think the floor is hot tonight. A win near the buffet line catches the eye of someone who just finished dinner and is deciding whether to play. It is theater, calculated, deliberate theater. The tight machines, the ones on this list, they tend to cluster in the middle of the floor, away from the exits. Surrounded by enough ambient noise and visual stimulation that you do not notice the hours disappearing. By the time you realize how much you have lost, you are already deep in the room, far from the door, and your brain is already rationalizing one more spin. I remember a senior vice president at a major strip property telling a room full of floor supervisors something I have never forgotten. He said, and I am paraphrasing here because I do not want any lawyers calling me, our job is not to take their money. Our job is to make sure they enjoy giving it to us. I thought about that line for a long time. Then I started watching the machines on this list do their work, and I stopped finding it funny. The 20 machines. Part 1, Machines. 1 through 7. All right, let us get into it. Number 1, Lightning Link Series. This is probably the single most profitable machine family in modern casino history. And it is profitable for the casino, not you. The hold percentage on Lightning Link machines consistently runs higher than the floor average at most strip properties. The multi-level jackpot system is designed to dangle a life-changing number in front of you while paying out tiny, rapid-fire wins that feel exciting but return far less than your investment. Players have reported sitting on Lightning Link for 4 to 5 hours chasing that top jackpot. The casino counts on exactly that. Number 2. Buffalo Gold Collection. Buffalo is everywhere. And I mean everywhere. There is a reason for that. Aristocrat, the manufacturer, built Buffalo to be a high-hold machine, dressed up in a low-hold costume. The frequent small wins, the gold coins, the Buffalo Stampede bonus, all of it is engineered to create the illusion of momentum. The actual return to player on many Buffalo variants sits below 90%. On the strip, some configurations push that hold even higher. Number 3. Dancing drums. Hugely popular in markets with significant Asian player bases, and specifically engineered to exploit the cultural significance of certain numbers and symbols. The drum bonus feature triggers frequently enough to keep you engaged, but pays out at levels that do not justify the wager required to reach it. The sound design on this machine deserves its own criminal investigation, honestly. It is that good at keeping you in your seat. Number 4. Wheel of Fortune slots. I know. You love Wheel of Fortune. Everybody loves Wheel of Fortune. That is exactly the problem. IGT, the manufacturer, has traded on that brand recognition for decades while quietly running hold percentages well above the floor average on many configurations. The wheel spin bonus is the hook. The actual math underneath that wheel is not something they advertise. The 3-reel mechanical version from the 1990s was a different animal entirely. The modern video versions are a different machine wearing a familiar costume. Number 5. Quick Hit Platinum. Bally Technologies built Quick Hit to be a player favorite. And they succeeded, but player favorite and player friendly are not the same thing. The Quick Hit symbol, Cascade, creates near-miss experiences at a frequency that is, I will say this carefully, not accidental. Behavioral psychologists have documented that near misses activate the same neural reward pathways as actual wins. Quick Hit understands this at a molecular level. So does your wallet, unfortunately. Number 6. Fu Dao Lei. Another Bally product. Another machine targeting specific cultural aesthetics to build emotional attachment. The free spin bonus on Fu Dao Lei is genuinely exciting. I have watched players jump out of their chairs when it hits. But the frequency and payout structure of that bonus is calibrated to return less than the session cost required to reach it often enough to matter. Beautiful machine. Expensive habit. Number 7. Game of Thrones slots. Branded machines, and we are going to talk about this category a lot in the next section, are almost universally worse for the player than non-branded equivalents. Why? Because the licensing fee that GT or Aristocrat or Scientific Games pays to HBO or Disney or whoever goes somewhere. It goes into the hold percentage. You are literally paying for the intellectual property every time you spin. The Game of Thrones machine takes that franchise nostalgia and converts it directly into a higher house edge. Winter is coming for your bankroll. The 20 machines. Part 2, Machines, 8 through 14, number 8. Britney Spears slots. I am not making this up. This is a real machine that exists in real casinos and real people sit at it and lose real money. The Britney Spears slot, dubbed by Aristocrat, runs a hold percentage that belongs in a museum of bad decisions. It is a branded machine. See the pattern forming? The celebrity licensing cost is baked into the math, and you pay it on every spin. Toxic is a good name for more than one thing here. I will leave that there. Number 9. Sex and the City slots. Same family of problem. WMS, later acquired by Scientific Games, built this one for a specific demographic, women in their 40s and 50s celebrating birthdays and bachelorette weekends in Vegas. The machine knows exactly who is sitting in front of it in a psychographic sense. It knows what emotional triggers to pull, the cosmopolitan cocktail imagery, the New York skyline, the sense of a girl's weekend well spent. All of it is designed to lower your financial guard while the hold percentage does its quiet work. Number 10. Michael Jackson King of pop slots. A licensed machine built on grief and nostalgia, which is a combination the casino industry has discovered is remarkably powerful. Players do not just gamble on this machine, they have an experience. They feel something. And feeling something while gambling is, from a behavioral economic standpoint, one of the most dangerous conditions a player can be in. When your emotions are engaged, your math is switched off. The house knows this. The Michael Jackson machine was engineered with this knowledge. Number 11. Monopoly slots. Here is one that surprised even some of my floor supervisor colleagues when the data started coming in. The Monopoly branding creates a subconscious association with a game of skill and strategy. Players approach it differently than they approach a pure luck game. They feel more in control. They are not more in control. The machine does not care that you think you know how to play Monopoly. The whole percentage does not negotiate. But that false sense of agency keeps people seated longer than almost any other machine type on this list. Number 12. Cleopatra slots. The IGT Cleopatra series is one of the longest running and most profitable slot machine families in casino history. There is a version of this machine that has been on casino floors since 1998. The reason it never goes away is the same reason casinos keep carpet that was fashionable in 1982. It works. The free spins bonus with a 2x multiplier creates a powerful reinforcement loop. The problem is the base game hold percentage that you grind through between bonus features, which is where the machine quietly takes back everything the bonus gave you and then some. Number 13. This Zeus series. WMS built the Zeus series to be a workhorse, and it absolutely is one. The cascading thunder sound when you hit a line win is a masterpiece of operant conditioning. I have watched players physically flinch and smile at the same time when that sound plays, even when they have just won back 60 cents on a $3 spin. The Zeus 3 in particular runs hold percentages in the upper tier of strip averages. It is everywhere. It is loud. It is eating your money. Number 14. 88 Fortunes. Bally's 88 Fortunes machine deserves its own documentary, maybe a mini-series. The cultural symbolism, 88 being an extremely auspicious number in Chinese numerology, combined with aggressive progressive jackpot structures and a near-miss frequency that should be studied in graduate psychology programs, makes this one of the most carefully engineered extraction devices I have ever seen on a casino floor. And I have seen a lot of casino floors. The Fooly sound effect alone has probably been responsible for more unplanned sessions than any marketing campaign in Vegas history. The 20 Machines, Part 3, Machines 15 through 20, Number 15, Locket Link series. Scientific Games built Locket Link as the heir apparent to Lightning Link's throne, and in some markets it has surpassed its predecessor in hold performance. For the casino, the persistent symbol lock mechanic creates a sensation of being close to something big on almost every spin, even when statistically speaking, you are no closer than you were 30 spins ago. I have watched players sit on Locket Link for 6 hours. I have watched the same players come back the next day and do it again. That is not chance, that is design. Number 16. Dragon Link. Aristocrat's Dragon Link is relatively newer, but it has one of the highest average hold percentages of any machine currently on major strip floors. The multi-denomination feature, where players can switch between penny, 2 cent, 5 cent, and higher denominations, sounds like flexibility and player choice. It is neither. It is a mechanism for getting players to gradually increase their bet size without consciously deciding to do so. You sit down betting pennies, and 45 minutes later, you are betting nickels and have no clear memory of making that upgrade. Number 17. Dollar Storm. The name is doing a lot of work here and not in your favor. Dollar Storm, another Aristocrat product, targets what the industry calls aspirational gamblers, people who are not regular high rollers but want to feel like one. The large denomination feel of the game creates a psychological state where players are less price sensitive than they would normally be. You are not being careful with your money because your brain thinks you are in a different league than you are. The machine encourages that delusion, actively. Number 18, Tarzan Slots. A WDWMS branded machine based on the Edgar Rice Burroughs estate and the classic franchise. Tarzan slots ran quietly on casino floors for years as one of the more aggressive hold machines on the floor, precisely because its brand recognition attracted players who would not normally gravitate toward unfamiliar machines. It is comfort food, familiar enough to feel safe, tight enough to make you question every life decision you have made since 1995. Number 19. Top Dollar. Top Dollar is a casino floor institution that has been around since before some of the people reading this were born. The IGT Top Dollar machine has been on floors in various iterations since the late 1980s. There is a generation of Vegas regulars who have a deep emotional relationship with this machine. That relationship is entirely one-sided. Top Dollar's hold percentage in its modern video iteration is substantially higher than its original mechanical incarnation. The machine traded on nostalgia while quietly renegotiating the terms of your relationship. Classic Vegas. Number 20. Wonder 4. Boost. I saved this one for last because it represents something particularly cold-blooded about how the modern slot machine industry operates. The Wonder 4 Boost by Aristocrat uses a multi-game screen format, allowing players to bet on 4 games simultaneously. It is sold as added value and more action for your money. What it actually is a mechanism for quadrupling your exposure to the hold percentage on every single spin. You are not getting more chances to win. You are giving the house 4 simultaneous bites at your bankroll, every single spin. The Wonder 4 Boost is the most efficient money extraction machine I have personally witnessed on a casino floor. And I say that with a professional admiration that I am not proud of. The psychology, playbook, how they keep you sitting here is what I want you to understand about every machine on this list. They are not just mathematically designed against you. They are psychologically engineered to keep you from noticing the math. Let us talk about near misses first. When 2 jackpot symbols land on the pay line and the third stops 1 position above, that is not a random unlucky coincidence. Near misses are programmed into modern slot machines at specific frequencies. The Nevada Gaming Control Board regulates this, but within those regulations there is still enormous room for manufacturers to dial in a near-miss frequency that maximizes session length. Your brain processes a near miss almost identically to an actual win in terms of dopamine release. You feel the excitement without the reward, and that feeling tells your brain, keep going, it is about to happen. Then there are losses disguised as wins. You bet $3, 3 lines pay back a total of 75 cents. The machine erupts with lights and sounds celebrating your win. You are down $2.25, and your nervous system is treating it like a victory. This happens hundreds of times per session on the machines on this list. By the end of a 3-hour session, your brain has been trained to experience net losses as emotional wins. That is not an exaggeration. That is documented behavioral science. The sound design on modern slot machines is produced by teams of audio engineers with advanced degrees and extensive data on what specific frequencies, at what volumes, at what intervals, produce the longest average session times. The chairs are designed to be comfortable enough to prevent physical discomfort for approximately 3 to 4 hours, which is the average target session length. The lighting around each machine is calibrated to create a personal bubble that makes the rest of the floor recede from your awareness. And if you are wondering about the oxygen rumor, the one about casinos pumping extra oxygen onto the floor to keep players alert, no confirmed evidence has ever emerged to support that specific claim. I will say that the HVAC systems in major casino properties are extraordinarily sophisticated, and that air quality on the floor is a topic that comes up in operational meetings more than you might expect. Draw your own conclusions. What the numbers actually say. I want to give you the hard data here because I think you deserve it. The Nevada Gaming Control Board publishes monthly revenue reports broken down by property type and denomination. Here is what 2024 told us. Strip slot machines held an average of 8.23%. That means for every $100 run through a strip slot machine, the casino kept $8.23. Downtown Las Vegas held 8.47%. Locals casinos, the properties targeting Nevada residents rather than tourists, held slightly less because they are competing for repeat customers who have options. Now, compare that to Reno, where no denomination category held more than 6.16% in the same period. Vegas is not even trying to compete on player-friendly terms anymore. They have a captive tourist audience, and they are pricing accordingly. For context, a video poker machine with optimal strategy can run a hold percentage under 1% on certain pay tables. Full pay Deuce is Wild, if you can find it, returns over 100% with perfect play, meaning the house has a negative edge with a skilled player. These machines exist. They are increasingly rare, and they are never the machines with the loudest marketing, the biggest branded displays, or the most prominent floor placement. The machines on this list average hold percentages that run between 2 and 5 percentage points above the floor mean. That does not sound dramatic until you run the math across a $300 session at 400 spins per hour. We are talking about $50 to $90 per hour effectively extracted from your bankroll under normal play conditions. On the machines I just named. On the Strip. In 2025, according to Jeremy Aguero's April 2025 report to the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, the average visitor spent $1,322 per trip to Las Vegas in 2024. Gambling spending as a category actually decreased. Where did the money go? Resort fees, food, parking, hotel rooms. The casino got you before you ever touched a machine. The machines on this list are the second act of that extraction. Real stories from real players. I want to read you some things that real people have written recently because I think they matter more than any statistic I can give you. One Reddit user in the Las Vegas community posted this in early 2025. They wrote, "Sat on Lightning Link for 2 hours at the Cosmopolitan. Started with $400. Watched it hit the mini jackpot twice, which felt incredible. Left with $40. The machine gave me 800 small wins and took back everything plus 360 of my own money. I felt like I won all night." Read that again. 800 small wins. Left down $360. That is not a bad night at the casino. That is the machine working exactly as designed. Another user described their experience on 88 Fortunes at a Strip property during the 2024 Super Bowl weekend. They wrote, "I swear this machine was breathing. Every time I was about to leave, it would give me a small hit, just enough to reload. I did not eat dinner. I did not watch the second half of the game. I put in $1,100 over about 6 hours, and I cashed out $220. I kept thinking the big bonus was coming. It was not coming. It was never coming." A former slot attendant at a major MGM property posted on social media, and I will paraphrase here, they wrote that they watched a woman in her 70s sit on a Buffalo Gold machine for 9 straight hours. Management sent comps to keep her there, a free meal voucher, a hotel discount, small gestures worth maybe $40 in value sent to someone who was losing approximately $80 per hour, and nobody said a word. That woman is not unusual. She is the target demographic for several machines on this list. Older players with time, with disposable income from retirement savings, with emotional connections to familiar brands and familiar sounds. The machines on this list are disproportionately designed with that player in mind. I am not proud of knowing that, but I am done staying quiet about it. I'd say what you should play instead if you must gamble. Look, I am not here to tell you not to gamble. You are an adult. Vegas is Vegas. Some of the best nights of my life happened on a casino floor. I understand the appeal completely. What I am here to tell you is that not all gambling is created equal. And if you are going to spend money in a casino, there are smarter places to spend it than the 20 machines we just went through. Video poker is the single best game for a player who is willing to put in minimal effort to learn basic strategy. Full pay jacks or better returns, 99.5, 4% with optimal play. That is a house edge of less than 0.5%. You can find payable information on the machine itself. 9 for a full house, 6 for a flush on a 5 credit bet is the full pay configuration. If you see 8 and 5 or lower, walk away. Deuce is Wild with a full pay schedule returns over 100% with perfect strategy, meaning the house has negative expected value. These machines are rare, but they exist, primarily at locals casinos like the Palms and the Station Casino properties. They are not on the Strip in abundance, which should tell you everything. Blackjack at a 3-2 table with basic strategy brings the house edge down to approximately 0.5%. Basic strategy cards are legal to use at the table. You can buy them in any gift shop in Vegas for $3. If the table pays 6-5 instead of 3-2 on blackjack, stand up and find another table. That single rule change costs you $139 per $100 of expected loss. It is not a minor variant. It is a fundamentally different and worse game wearing a familiar name. Craps with optimal bet selection, pass line with full odds, brings the house edge down to a fraction of a percent on the odds portion of your bet. The table is loud and social and fun in a way that a slot machine hermetically sealed in its own sensory bubble can never replicate. The common thread across all of these alternatives is human interaction. A dealer, other players, a social environment. The machines on this list are specifically designed to isolate you, to create a one-on-one relationship between you and a screen, because a screen never gets tired of taking your money and never makes you feel the social embarrassment of sitting alone feeding $100 bills into a box for 6 hours. If you can see other people losing their money alongside you, that is perversely a form of consumer protection. Here is what it all comes down to. The 20 machines on this list are not accidents. They are not the result of manufacturers failing to understand player psychology. They are the result of manufacturers understanding player psychology better than most players understand themselves. They have been tested, refined, deployed, and in many cases quietly tightened further over the past several years, as casino operators have pushed hold percentages upward across the board. The Nevada Gaming Control Board reported 4 consecutive months of declining strip gaming revenue heading into the summer of 2025. Visitor numbers dropped 11.3% in June 2025 alone. Nearly 400,000 fewer people chose to walk through those doors compared to the year before. And instead of asking why, instead of remembering that Vegas was built on volume, on the idea that millions of ordinary people would come here year after year and happily lose a modest amount of money in exchange for an extraordinary experience, the casinos looked at those numbers and tightened the machines a little more. They are eating the furniture. The Vegas I fell in love with understood something simple. Treat people fairly enough that they want to come back. Give them a fighting chance. Make the experience worth the cost. A construction worker from Cleveland should be able to sit down at a slot machine and have a real shot, not a mathematically engineered illusion of a shot. That Vegas is not entirely gone. It is harder to find. It is mostly not on the strip anymore, but it exists. And this channel, Old Vegas Legends, exists to help you find it. If this video opened your eyes to what is really happening on those casino floors, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Old Vegas Legends because we are going to keep pulling back the curtain on everything the casino industry does not want you to know. Every machine, every fee, every trick they run, every piece of the Vegas dream they have quietly dismantled while we were not paying attention. Share this video with every person you know who is planning a Vegas trip. Not to scare them away from going. Vegas is still worth experiencing, but a player who knows what they are walking into is a player who walks out with something left in their wallet. That is the whole point. I am Michael. This is Old Vegas Legends, and I will see you in the next one.